Hello and welcome to Prairie Pulse. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll hear music from Anthony Miltish from Fergus Falls. But first, joining me now is the Superintendent of Public Instruction for North Dakota, Kirsten Baszler. Kirsten, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
As we get started, tell the folks a little bit about yourself, your background, maybe where you're originally from.
Certainly. I'm from southwestern North Dakota, a small town called Flasher. It's about 50 miles southwest of the Bismarck-Mandan area. Youngest of 7 children. My mom and dad continued to live there, and my father does. My mother passed away a few years ago. And it was a great upbringing. I feel very blessed to grow up around with my cousins and my aunts and uncles. And went to college in North Dakota, a product of the North Dakota University system. Worked for 24 years in the Bismarck school system at all levels and at all ranges. I started out as an instructional assistant, a teacher's aide, while I was working my way through college to become a teacher and became a vice principal. Raised my 3 sons in Mandan, and they're all grown up now and off being, productive North Dakota citizens as well, products of the North Dakota University system. And while I was raising them in Mandan, I was elected to the Mandan School Board. So I served on the Mandan School Board for 9 years, and 7 of those years as the school board president, and taking the experience that I had as a board member, a school board member, dealing with budget and finances and policies and laws, combining that with my classroom experience and my leadership experience as an administrator in a school building. In 2012, I decided to run for the state superintendent, combine those skill sets and experiences, and was elected successfully, and am now serving my 3rd year, going into my 4th year as the state superintendent of the North Dakota Public School System.
Okay, well, did you think 25 years ago you'd be the superintendent? Was that your goal?
I actually was down on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation yesterday, which is close to my hometown area, and I was speaking to the student body there, and I shared with them, no, not in any way, shape, or form did I think as I was growing up that someday I want to be the state superintendent of schools. But we grew up with a very strong sense of emphasis in our family of servant leadership, and that it wasn't a matter of if you served in some capacity, your community or your state, it was a matter of how you could best serve. And that is, I think, essentially the motivating factor that led me to the state superintendent role, is that I wanted to serve, I wanted to give back to my state, and combining the experiences and skills that I had, that was the best way, that was my passion.
Okay. Well, so what exactly does a state superintendent do on sort of a daily or weekly basis?
Well, it generally, historically, has been a very regulatory agency, if you will. It has traditionally been that, and so there is and justifiably so, there's a large portion of the job responsibilities that must ensure that all of our state laws surrounding education and all of our federal laws concerning, of course, equal access to education and the civil rights, special education rights for education, we have to ensure that all of our schools are providing that equal access and equitable equitable opportunities for education. So we do that. We make sure that that's existing and all the laws are being implemented. But we've really transformed in the last 3.5 years into becoming a very customer service oriented agency as well. Discovering and soliciting information of how we can better support our schools, how we can better support our teachers and our students within our schools so they can provide to our students what the absolute mission of public education is, and that's to ensure that our students are ready when they graduate from our high schools across the state for whatever they choose to do, whether it would be, go to a career and technical school or a 4-year degree or continue on to postgraduate work or enter the military or simply enter the workforce. That is our goal. That's why we exist. So beyond the regulatory enforcement of rules and regulations and making sure that all of our students have adequate access and opportunities, we also try to find ways to improve and help better support our schools and our students.
Okay. Well, how do you fit in the organizational chart of things as far as who you report to, and then do you have a staff or what?
That's a very good question. So the Department of Public Instruction is headed by the state elected state superintendent of public instruction. There's 100 members of our team that are at the 3 floors at the state capitol. As an elected official, I answer to everyone in the state of North Dakota over the age of 18. I work very closely with the Attorney General, with the Governor, with the State Treasurer. I serve with the State Secretary of State. We serve on several boards together. I serve on actually 15 boards that are prescribed in either law or the North Dakota State Constitution. And again, some state superintendents or commissioners of education or secretaries of education, as they are called, are not elected. They are appointed by a governor or they are hired by a board of education. That is not the case in North Dakota. I am independently elected in a nonpartisan position, so my bosses are all of the voters in North Dakota.
But with that said, before we came on the air, you were talking about something you did with a student cabinet.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that.
I'm very proud of the creation of the student cabinet. Soon into my first term in office, I realized that there were many opportunities that the adults in this state had to provide advice or guidance or their opinion to me. We have the administrators, the superintendents and principals and curriculum directors that have their association called the North Dakota Council of Education Leaders. Of course, we have the Teachers Association, ND United. We have the North Dakota Parent Teacher Association, comprised of our involved parents across the state. But I realized that my primary customer was the people that I serve the most, and the reason that my position even exists, aren't 18. They can't even vote. And so I wanted to create an opportunity for me to hear their voice, to hear how the policies that we as adults thought were very good ideas and would be implemented with ease and have such great impact, wonderful impact, how they really were impacting our students. So I created the State Superintendent's Student Cabinet, the first ever in North Dakota. And from over 80 applicants from across the state, 20 young adults, young individuals were selected to be part of this student cabinet. We have 11 young ladies and 9 young men that serve on the student cabinet. They are from 10 Class A schools, 10 Class B schools, from every corner, every region of the state. We have Kenmare, we have Hankinson, we have Langdon, we have Fargo, we have Bowman represented. So we meet quarterly, face-to-face at the Capitol, and these young adults share with me their thoughts about the policies that we're considering, the policies that were passed in our state legislature, the policies that they'd like to see introduced and implemented. Essentially, they tell me what is working and we should continue to support, and they also tell me things that aren't working and the areas that we need to look at improving. I value their opinion a great deal.
Interesting. Can you talk a bit about Congress's decision to replace the No Child Left Behind and what that means?
Yes, I'm ecstatic about that decision to replace No Child Left Behind. That version of the Elementary Secondary Education Act has been in place for the majority of my career. And that version of ESEA expired in the mid-2000s, and we've been operating under a continuing resolution of that, what I would say is a flawed law, for almost 7 or 8 years. And the replacement of No Child Left Behind with this new Every Student Succeeds Act is a great, great opportunity for us in a state and in every state to return the control of education back to the state. It's actually more flexibility and more state control than we've had in education in over a quarter of a century. So I'm very pleased.
With that said, what kind of worked and what didn't work with No Child Left Behind?
Thank you. There were certain aspects of No Child Left Behind that really did provide an improvement for our education system in North Dakota and across the nation. One of the things that No Child Left Behind did, and that was a positive thing and it did well, is it caused our local school districts to use data in a more profound and in a more useful way. We use data to drive more of our decisions in our decision-making process than we did because of No Child Left Behind. The other thing, I think the biggest success of No Child Left Behind is that it caused school districts to not only take a look at their overall achievement, but to take a look at the achievement for all students, meaning that we were required to look at our subgroups. How are our economically disadvantaged students performing? How are our students of color performing? How are our students of special needs performing? So it essentially said that it's not okay that 80% of our students that were coming to school fed, well-clothed, with good supportive home life, How are they doing? We hope that they're doing well, but how also are our students that don't have those extra supports doing? So that was a good thing.
Yeah. Well, is there a teacher shortage in North Dakota?
There is certainly a teacher shortage. I don't think we're alone in that in this state. I think we're experiencing a teacher shortage across the nation. In North Dakota, I'm seeing that the teacher shortages aren't, the teacher shortage crisis, if you will, and I do believe it is a crisis, isn't necessarily impacting our larger school districts. Our Fargos, our Bismarcks, our Minotts, our Grand Forks, they're doing fine as far as attracting and retaining high quality teachers in almost every subject area. We're seeing it as an area that is significantly impacting our rural schools and particularly our rural isolated school districts across the state. So how can we ensure that all of our students in every zip code area in our state have access to high quality teachers in an ample amount of elective areas as well? No Child Left Behind had its good aspects, as we talked about, but one thing that it was very flawed in, and why I do call it a flawed law, is that it measured the quality of our schools based on just two simple factors: test scores in 3 subject areas and graduation rates. And while those measurements are very important, it is important that our students do well in English, math, and science, and that they are graduating at a high rate, ready for college or career. But it's also important for us to value all of the other things that we know in North Dakota and in this region comprise a quality school. And a quality school is made up of the things that I think every parent knows when they walk into a school of their child or their nieces or their nephews or their grandparents walk into their grandchildren's school. They recognize a quality school, but they're not looking at test scores. They're looking at engaged teachers. They're looking at caring adults that are in the cafeteria, that are giving their children a ride on the bus to school, that there's multiple opportunities to take band and choir and art classes and theater and be involved in leadership clubs and leadership opportunities. So that's what we're going to change now in the absence of No Child Left Behind. We will reward and recognize the opportunities that school districts have been providing for their students because they know it makes a quality school without being rewarded or recognized by it with the federal law. With that being said, when we start to return the emphasis and the identification of those quality aspects of school systems, I think that we're also going to be able to add quality to what it means to be a teacher. And I think that with us returning the identification of a well-rounded school experience, that teaching will once again be a profession that is looked at by many young people saying, I want to do that. I want to be part of being part of a child's formation of their future. I also think that when we do that, we may have some second career adults that maybe made their living for their first 10 years out of college in one career and are looking at teaching again and saying, I want to make a difference. I want to take the skills and the experiences that I've learned as a young adult and in my first career to the classroom to help our next generation. So I'm optimistic.
Interesting. Well, can you talk about new initiatives to boost the number of AP classes that high schools are taking, and maybe explain what AP really means for people out there?
Certainly. Advanced placement is what AP stands for, advanced placement courses. And what it is, what advanced placement courses are they are classes that our students can take while they're still in high school. And if they achieve a certain score on the end of course exam, they earn college credit for that as well. We hear a lot about the rising cost of college, that the student debt that our students are graduating from college with, and so if they can earn college credit while they're still in high school, that's a benefit to them and a benefit to their parents, and it's a benefit to us as taxpayers as well, as we are graduating students in a shorter amount of time with the necessary degrees that they are pursuing. So what I learned through my student cabinet, actually, were the first to bring it to my attention, and then I heard that same sentiment echoed when I spoke to other students at Governor's School or Girl State and Boy State speaking engagements that I visited. I heard that in our larger school systems, our students did have ample opportunity to take advanced placement courses. But when we again went out to our rural Class B schools, our students in those schools were saying, you know, we've taken as many dual credit, because dual credit is also a very important opportunity that our students are taking advantage of, where they can take a dual credit course where they're earning high school credit and college credit on the high school campuses. But they're saying, well, we've tapped all of those out. We've taken all the dual credit courses that we can take. We want more. So that, compiled with the fact that I took a look at the data, again, I spoke about us using data more effectively. I looked at the data and I saw that our seniors were taking the lightest course load of all 4 years of their high school career. And so I wanted to help assist that, to help mitigate that. And with that, we have worked with the legislature, and the North Dakota legislature has provided $1.2 million for our students in North Dakota to increase their access to advanced placement courses on their high school campuses, as well as reducing the cost of the exams for our students, all of our students in the state of North Dakota. So we're hoping, my goal is to have 25% of our high school seniors graduating with at least one semester of college credit before they leave our campuses.
So do you favor more control from the federal government or more local control, or a balance? What do you?
As a school board member of 9 years, I emphatically support local control. I do believe, as we think about the heritage and the pioneers that came into North Dakota, the very first thing that they did was they invested in building a church and building a school. And I believe the best decisions for our children are made by those adults, and with the involvement of our students that closest to those students that are going to be educated. So I'm a firm believer in local control.
Can you tell us about any success stories maybe you've seen on your stops across the state?
You know, I don't know where to start with just one. I do make it a point of visiting many of our local schools across the state. I was in Wolford, North Dakota, which is a very small school in north central North Dakota, and the way that they're leveraging our Center for Distance Education to help their seniors earn those college credits. They've had an opportunity, or actually they've had a challenge in hiring science and math teachers, and so they're hiring community people to come and facilitate the classes while the teacher of record is located in Fargo, North Dakota, and the course is being delivered over technology and computers. I was down in southwestern North Dakota, and we have students that are just exploding with STEAM opportunities. STEAM means science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Langdon up in northern North Dakota had a STEAM day where they had problem solving. I could go on and on about the bright, talented young students that we have in this state. And with that, I will say, with our support as adults, supporting them and providing them the opportunities, we won't have to be worried about this next generation. They are asked to do so much more. They are asked to learn the reading, the writing, the arithmetic, but they're also asked to communicate and collaborate and be creative in ways to create that next app that's going to be on the phone in ways that we never were. So with the right support, with the right adults assisting them, I think that we have the greatest state full of young people. The U.S. Chamber affirmed that. In the fall of 2015, they said North Dakota had the best pipeline of talent of every state in the nation. So we will continue that.
Well, good. So what's the biggest challenge or hardest thing about your job?
You know, I think it's making sure that all of our students' needs are met, from the most rural isolated student located in Horse Creek, which is a school district of 8 students, to our largest growing school districts, the West Fargos of the world. So how do we ensure that we provide equitable resources that meets the needs of all of our students, and ensuring that all voices are heard, that our legislators are heard, that our parents are heard, that our students are heard, and that we have all voices on the table, but at the end, the solution that we come up with is a decision made with our students in mind.
Well, we're out of time, and I had more questions, but if people want more information, where can they go?
Certainly. Please visit our website. It's www.nddpi.gov at the state of North Dakota. We're on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We can do all sorts of wonderful things with social media communication. But please, at any time, feel free to call me. I'm located on the 11th floor of the Capitol. I don't have a screener that answers my calls, so I will answer directly when you call my office, and that's on our website as well.
Well, Kirsten, we thank you for what you do, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. It's
Thank
a pleasure.
You. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more. For over 30 years, Anthony Miltich has been performing his acoustic style of music throughout the Midwest. He's produced several CDs and draws from his own life to create original music and lyrics.
Screaming at the bullfight, what a strange delight. Betting on the game, hope you win tonight. Going to the movies, give them what they want. Ladies in their high heels can be bought. It's a surreal life experience. Surreal life experience. Surreal life experience. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Staring at the pictures, the galleries, the street, singing down the freeway with no one in the backseat. Meet me at the motel, tied up from 9 to 5. Get what I've been missing, bring you back alive from surreal life experience. Surreal life experience. Surreal life experience. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Swinging for the bleachers, bring them to their feet. Working out the details, I'm squirming in my seat. But I'm working at the car wash, singing me the blues. Me don't need no car wash, somebody shine my shoes. Surreal life, it's a surreal life experience. Surreal life experience. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, let's go up on the mountain tonight and be lovers out under the stars. From up there the freeways are rivers of light, with diamonds and rubies for cars. And the city is spread like a net at your feet, catching the stars as they fall. And all of the things that are driving you crazy won't really matter at all. Hey, let's go up on the mountain tonight. You can bring all your memories along. We'll take all the very best times of our lives and set them down into a song. And we'll stand on a peak overlooking the world and sing it as loud as we can. Not one of the millions below us will hear it, but won't the elation be grand? And we'll catch us a ride on the wings of an angel, flying too close to the ground. And if she is flying away to forever, maybe we'll never come down.
Well, that's all we have on Prairie Pulse for this week. And as always, thanks for watching.
Funding for Minnesota Legacy programs are provided by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. And by the members of Prairie Public.